Welcome to the Judgment Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast, episode number 7 for May 16th, 2022.
Psst. You're listening to a Red Corn Studios production. Don't tell your mama.
Now adjust the volume control so that the sound can be heard in all parts of the room.
Recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois, you're listening to the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast with Matt and Amy. Come and learn and share a journey with two former craft beer enthusiasts who went from daily drinkers to teetotalers and basically never lost their love for their life together.
Hey, a freak show!
That's a freak show this week, all right. It's a freak show we can't figure out how to podcast. Even the intro took 3 tries. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. I don't want to get in trouble.
She didn't make me jump up and down this week, so. We're working on Amy's...
Will you please tell me how my volumes are? Because
that's about right.
I'm either too close or I'm too far. Or I'm right on top of it.
You would think by this point in our life, after now what, including this podcast, about 250 podcasts, you would know how to talk on a microphone, but yet you still don't know how to talk on the microphone.
I talk on the microphone. You just don't like how I do it. Right?
That's about accurate.
I think that's the way it is. You're like, all right, now I want you. He did this. He's like, all right, make sure you like that. Here, you just that far away.
I can only fix so
and when
much.
You get laughed, when you want to laugh, go, ha, 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 ha.
There you go. See?
There you go.
There.
Oh, I don't want to get too close.
You Dr. Evil. Welcome to the podcast. Or Santa Claus. I don't know what I'm going with there. Anyway, children.
Dr. Evil.
Welcome back, children's. How are you? How was your week? Hopefully wonderful. Ours was busy as usual.
Yeah, it was a great week.
It was a great week. One thing Amy and I noticed this week was, or noted, were all the things that we did this week that we never would have done had we been drinking. Either we would have found an excuse to not do it, or we would have been drinking too much to even do it.
Well, or just not feeling good.
Or that too, yeah.
Because I was looking at your list, because this is a little shout out to our nephew, Scott. This week, he was actually for his college, I guess, level or whatever however the collegiate thing is. For the school, he went to the national field and track.
Track and field, but sure.
Track and field,
outdoor,
yeah. And it was about 2.5 hours from here.
Yeah.
And he is up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so their school and all these schools came to a very tiny community of Greenville, Illinois.
Never heard of Greenville.
Greenville
College, yes.
And it's a small private Christian college. And
I also had never heard of the NCCAA. We've heard of the NC2A, but this is the National Christian College Athletic Association versus the National College Athletic or Collegiate, whatever. There's an extra C in there. Anyway, but it's 2.5 hours from here.
Yeah, so my sister from there would be like 10.5 hours, so they weren't able to come, and I was like,
we were the family representatives.
We're going to be there. Want to represent him, want to support him, and so it worked out. We just...
But the thing is that the event was at 4 p.m.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So
true.
In the past, would we have driven to an event that started at 4 p.m. that was 2.5 hours away? Maybe. The trick is, I guarantee on the way back we would have stopped somewhere for a drink probably, because that didn't get us home until like what, 7:30.
We got home like 7:30 after watching. Well, it might have been a little bit after that, but after watching his event, and he did great. I want to let everybody know his first year ever throwing the javelin. And so he just learned it, and he was basically, I think he was next in to get into finals.
I learned a lot about the javelin. I didn't know anything about javelin throwing.
I knew nothing about the javelin.
No.
But it was so exciting. It was just great to be able to be there for him and just experience all of it and be like, okay, this was awesome.
We figured out why you didn't need to have tickets, though. It was not a highly attended event.
Well, and it was very well videoed, and they were doing live streaming, so that was perfect.
It was national. So.
And it was national. I mean, there were schools from South Carolina, Missouri, Michigan, Wisconsin. I mean, all over the United States. So it was a lot of fun.
But keeping with the evening driving theme, this was what, Friday night? Thursday night? Friday night? It was nice. The weather's been nice here in the cornfields. Had the top off the Jeep. So about 8:15, Amy's like, all right, 8:15, 8:30. Amy's like, let's go take the Jeep for a ride. I'm like, okay. Which I guarantee there's no way in hell that would have happened previously, because by 8:30 on a Friday night, there's no way I would have been in.
No, so we were like,
if I was
let's
awake,
go.
let alone
So
sober.
we
just took the dog and
Oreo with us and Jeeps off, and just a great, beautiful evening.
tops off, not the
Tops off the Jeep.
Yes. Just a little loop around the cornfields.
Yeah, and so we just had a nice little drive around town.
There you go.
And no, we would have never.
Oh God, no.
Ever done that. I mean, would you say the last time that you did something like that was when you were in high school?
Yeah, that used to be a thing to do, because Oreo doesn't like bassy cars, apparently.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. She was so good. She enjoyed the whole thing.
Until the bass.
Until she heard the bass, and then she just lost it.
Yeah, she's like,
oh yeah, it was great.
But then to your point about feeling good in the mornings, you did a breakfast networking that started at like dark 30.
No, it was early. I mean, it was a pre-event for a business showcase. So it was like a breakfast at...
like 7 o'clock, right?
No, it was at 8.
Oh.
So, I mean, it was still... But you had to be there because I was helping, like, man the table and talk to people and everything. And yes, I would have gone to that event. But I would have been really groggy. And it would have been not the best.
Yeah. All three of these things are things that we kind of thought if we had done, we may not have done, we probably would have tried and find an excuse to not do it, or talk ourselves out of it, or just not do it.
Well, but the other thing with that is, until I took my break, I didn't know I didn't feel good.
Well, that's true. I found one of our old videos that popped up in my feed from about 4 years ago. And of course, I always open the videos in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God, hungover much?
Oh yeah, but remember that picture that I found of me about that same time?
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, when you're in it, you don't see it.
Nope. It's like, I'm just tired. Well, that is not untrue, but.
I'm tired, but it's okay. It's all good. It was fun. We had a great week.
We did.
And
here we are at 10 in the morning on a Sunday podcasting.
That's right. We've already gone for a walk.
Oh yeah.
Enjoying our day.
All right, Amy. And our drink of the week is brought to you by our friend Tori, who is a listener of the podcast and a longtime friend. I think we featured this beer, the Coba Maya from Big Drop Brewing. I think that was like one of our first drinks. Anyway,
it was.
She posted on Instagram Coba Maya with about a shot of lime juice is what we're using over ice.
It's so good.
Kind of makes it shandy-ish, kind of a summer shandy kind of vibe.
It's light. It was refreshing.
Oh, totally
Very
something
good.
I will take to the lake with me for sure.
And I was going to completely cop out, and hey, you took out the notes.
It's right there.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
May not have printed. We had printer issues, but anyway.
Well, anyways,
but
okay.
no, so Coba Maya, lime juice, and ice.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
so my drink, my favorite summer drink is a virgin Moscow Mule. And
How do you make it?
the way I make it is I take ginger beer, and you can do diet or regular. And then I do the
P.S. If you don't know ginger beer, there's no alcohol in ginger beer. Go ahead.
Spindrift.
Which is like a bubbly or
but
a
it's
LaCroix.
made with real fruit juice instead of the natural flavors, which aren't so natural, I've learned.
Or you can use club soda.
Yeah. So I use that, and then I even put, a good squeeze of lime as well. I use the lime Spindrift, and then I do some, I love lime. And so I do that. I put some more lime in it.
Then lime ginger beer. No.
And then some mint.
Yep.
And it is awesome.
But if you don't like Spindrift or don't have it, you can always use club soda.
Yep.
Really, I think the only thing you're keeping out is the vodka, which actually you could substitute if you wanted. I found a brand called Wilderton. Must be Wilderton.
Have you tried that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wilderton Earthen. I think they're like a vodka like.
It doesn't.
No. I mean, the vodka doesn't add that. I mean, if you want, you could do
The vodka just added calories.
what's a tequila version of a Moscow
death.
Mule? Tequila version of the Moscow Mule is don't remember. Oh, it's a
A Mexican mule.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes.
So, but you could use like a ritual tequila, and you could do a Moscow
We've done
Mule
that,
way.
but it's so easy, and I am lazy. And if
That's what I liked about the other one. Coba Maya, lime juice, ice.
yeah,
Done.
but I mean, this isn't hard. I mean, you're pouring half and half, and then
The hardest thing is to remember to have lime on hand.
and now that I have my fresh mint out in the yard,
Oh, yay. There you go.
it's gardening season.
Gardening season. There you go. Too bad I'm not drunk then.
I am a gardener.
Yeah, let's go with that. Speaking of some feedback, if you want to feedback, you can comment wherever we post this. Please comment on the podcast feeds, on your Amazons or your Apples.
Make
your
sure you
Googles.
like, subscribe.
Like,
Do you have
subscribe.
do you have like a little subscribe little?
Probably.
Little
There's a
thing you
subscribe
need.
button on the
Yeah,
video.
on the video.
Or on the YouTubes. You always watch on the YouTubes.
I guess we'd be down there.
Apparently y'all like the YouTubes because the YouTubes get some decent video views.
Yeah, that's exciting.
But we had, or you could email feedback at afmpodcast.com. Of course, all the other links are at afmpodcast.com. We had some feedback. I think our good friend, oops, dang it. You know what? These sounds are just a challenge. I don't know, Margo. Our good friend Margo, I think she removed it because I think she felt bad.
I don't know. I couldn't find it, but she said from the album art.
So I try the album art on the videos. I just sort of grab a still that actually just kind of looks funny or bizarre or weird. It's just us talking. So what am I going to do? So I grab one and Margo goes, Matt looks like a 80-year-old, serial killer. 80-year-old bald serial killer. I'm like, what?
I thought it was quite funny. I was cracking up.
Yes, we were both cracking up with the car. So Margo, don't worry.
Margo, if you took it down, you
can put it right back up.
You can leave it. I don't know if you did, or there's so many different.
All I took away from that is I clearly need to up my thumbnail game.
Maybe make sure you do that with your glasses on so you can see the expression on your face. Because it was the expression on your face, I think that was the key. It was like,
I don't know if my glasses on. I look like the guy from the Six Flags commercial.
yeah. So
Anyway, a friend of mine, Jennifer, she said thanks for the podcast, and she actually lives near Trigger in Chicago.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, if I had known, we would have said hi, but I had no idea. I didn't know where Trigger was in my defense. So
I still don't know where it's at.
I could find again.
But
And
that's
Amy,
okay.
But Amy, you've been reaching out, and you are scheduling some upcoming interviews for the podcast, so they don't have to just listen to you and I.
We've been talking about that, but then we had a fellow This Naked Mind senior coach, Terry Patterson. She has reached out to us to have us be on her podcast. So I'm so excited about that. So that's going to be coming soon.
And her podcast is the Sober Edge podcast.
The Sober Edge podcast. And her coaching business she is the Sober Nutritionist.
Oh.
Which it's so cool.
When are we doing this? We don't know.
Well, I've got to click on the link to schedule the time.
Coming soon.
This was all yesterday.
But on the Alcohol Free Marriage podcast, you'll hear who? People. Who?
You just lost me.
Who are we having on our podcast?
Oh,
You haven't
okay.
named those
Yes.
people.
Well, no, we're going to have Terry too. She was like,
she's gonna be on our podcast?
she would love to be
okay.
on our podcast as well. So that's going to be coming. And then also,
It's like a pod swap.
It is. Jane from Amethyst Spirits.
Awesome. We just got our Amethyst Spirits
We did.
in. Yes.
And we just have to kind of look at both of our schedules, her schedule, and get that on there because she also, during the pandemic, was going through that getting healthy and also, made the move to start living alcohol free. In her own words, she even said, she will occasionally have a glass of wine, but you know what? Everybody's journey is different.
Yes, that's the one thing I definitely live by is everybody's journey is different. So.
Yep. And then, so she is going to be on with us. So that is going to be fun. So we'll probably be doing some
drink taste testing.
Yeah, we'll do some cocktails.
Probably be a few drinks of the week that week.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So we'll mix those up. But we're even thinking about maybe doing little videos on, here's our little drink.
Yes.
Matt loves doing videos, right? And then one of my really good friends is, hey.
People can't see what. Just continue, please. You don't do a very good job of just going with what's happening, do you?
That's what makes it real.
Yes.
Real good friend of mine. His name is Joe Palma, and he has been living alcohol-free, sober for, I think he's celebrating either his 7th or 8th anniversary real soon. And he has an amazing entertainment company.
Yep.
Palma Entertainment, and he also has a great band called Style and Stereo, and it is so much fun. And
Probably the most, not over the top bad,
it's
so produced for like a local. Usually you think like local band, you think like one man acoustic jam, blah blah blah.
And that was like the first.
He's got stage and lights and costumes and dancing and choreography.
And they have jumpsuits.
And jumpsuits.
But we went and saw them.
Yep.
That was the first, I think one of the first nights that we went out, like to see entertainment, like a live band.
They really didn't have a lot of choices for non-alcoholic options, but
no, they didn't. Too. But I think that's going to be changing because we also know one of the people over at
it's like my personal project.
Crafted.
Yes.
Which is
if you want my money, you will have non-alcoholic drinks.
And they have really good coffee and stuff. So anyways.
Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast fortune goes a long ways in supporting your business.
And then finally, she's not on here. Actually, there's 2 more coaches that we're going to be talking as well. And one is both of them are dear friends of mine. And one is actually who I am co-coaching with on our, we have a coaching program that goes right along with the alcohol experiment, and it's a 6-week program that her and I are putting together, and we're in the middle of it right now.
So that'd be about week 3 then.
We're starting week 3. You don't
awesome.
have to. You are so snotty.
I know. And the problem with the video is I can't do this to get you to speed up because then everybody sees
you
me telling
they don't
you to
care.
speed.
That's all right. That's part of it. So anyway, I'm really super excited about this.
Lots of interviews coming up, so you won't have to listen to us. All right, Amy, now it's time for my favorite time of the week. Booze News with your host, Matt. Is that how I always say it? I feel like I said it different this time.
I don't know.
From around the world. I just love to change it every week.
Okay.
All right, Amy. So my booze news this week, I'm going to do them in reverse order.
Oh.
Well, no, we'll do the same.
Why don't you just go in this right? Just go in order.
I picked booze news this week that sort of spoke to me as a 48-year-old male who has a history of some of these items. So, can drinking too much alcohol cause a heart attack? Excessive alcohol... Words.
Do you want me
I will read. Excessive alcohol use has association with an increased risk of heart attack. So that's problematic to begin with. The American Heart Association explains that drinking excess alcohol can raise triglycerides in the blood. High triglyceride, man, these medical terms. High triglyceride levels in combination with either excess LDL cholesterol or insufficient HDL cholesterol can lead to fatty buildups in the artery walls, increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. So a little bonus there.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to put a link also because with that, as you brought that up, the World Heart Federation.
Never heard of them, but okay.
Well, most people who are in that world and the heart, they have come up and they have said that there is no healthy amount of alcohol now.
Oh, the whole like a glass of red wine is good for your heart or something.
And when you talk about moderation, I mean, and I've mentioned this before, if every U.S. adult moderated, the alcohol industry would be in big trouble. But basically, and this is their report for 2019. It says the prevalence of cardiovascular disease has nearly doubled in the last 2 decades, with more than 500 million cases being reported in 2019 alone. More than 18.5 million individuals have died from CVD.
CBD?
CVD.
Oh, CVD. I'm like,
cardiovascular disease, making it the leading cause of global mortality and disability.
And we have shown there are a lot of studies that show that
it's okay.
The health benefits of the red wine actually don't come from the alcohol in the wine. It's the tannins, which you can get from other things that don't include the alcohol.
You can just eat grapes.
Well, and you also say, yes, there are health benefits to that part, but we're leaving out the negative side of the alcohol part. So
because I don't know if people really know this, but this alcohol, ethanol,
right.
It's the same chemical compound that you are putting into your car.
And honestly, other than my grandfather, who's since long passed away, but I don't know too many people only have one glass of red wine anyway. So
well, and I mean, when we talk about like doing what the CDC's guidelines are,
right,
people don't follow that.
What?
I know. I mean, they're now saying if you don't drink, don't start.
There you go.
But if you do drink, moderate. Well,
yeah,
I know. I never could have just one glass of wine.
Why have one when you can have 5?
I didn't have that many.
But Amy, this really strikes close to home.
Wait a minute. No.
What? Yeah, you haven't.
I had another one.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking over your spot.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Matt's booze news. Now it's become Amy's. And I don't even know what you're talking about because you just put links in the show notes. I don't even know where these go to because I can't.
I just
click on
wanted to
paper.
also say that the headline, and this is the New York Intelligencer.
I subscribe all the time.
I think it's from the New York. I think it's New York Magazine.
Sure.
And this is from March 22nd, 22. So
This year.
This is very current. It says alcohol killed more Americans under 65 than COVID did, which is pretty, dramatic. Now, I will say, when I was reading the article, it is close, right. But it's like right there, neck and neck. But one of the things
but let's say alcohol is preventable.
Yes, but
COVID, not
I wanted to
necessarily
read
as much.
this part of it. It said alcohol-related deaths ranging from alcohol poisoning to liver disease and accidents have been crawling upward over the past 2 decades. I just said that in the other report, with an average annual increase of 3.6% between the years 1999 and 2019. But the stark jump from 79,000 deaths in 2019 to 99,000 deaths in 2020 confirms that studies showing that people drank more to manage their pandemic stress. So what happened is we ended up having the increase was so dramatic. It's like, that is insane. What is it, like a 23 or something
That's
percent?
math. I don't do math.
I know, but it's a very large, it was very notable. So, you know what? I just want people to know, once again, I'm not going to say drink responsibly because that is BS from the alcohol industry.
Yes.
Well, it is.
I know.
It's, you know what? It's just be aware. Be aware. Don't, you know what? It's just like smoking. I would not start smoking right now because I know of how bad it is for me.
You know what all the drinkers in the world say, Amy?
Must you dump on everything we do?
Yes, I found my sound
Unfortunately,
effects.
I have to do that on this now. But like I said, we're not anti-drinking. No. I just want people to be completely aware of what it is. Oh, let's go into this next section.
This is mine.
Okay, sorry.
Is alcohol bad for your hair, Amy? Clearly, if you've seen me. Occasionally drinking alcohol is not bad for your hair. So that tells you how much I drank. I drank all the hair away. However, regular alcohol consumption through drinking or using certain alcohol-containing hair products may have negative effects on your hair. I am the poster child for that statement. According to the American Academy of Dermatology Association, why do these have to be such long names? Not getting enough biotin, iron, or zinc can lead to noticeable hair loss. Now I take zinc and
if only
taken those ahead of time, maybe I could have prevented this. Damage easily occurs with dehydrated hair, which I think is part of the problem with the alcohol, is it dehydrates you. Examples of hair damage include overly dry hair, split ends. The heck was that? Is that your computer?
Might be.
I was going to say, that's not our doorbell. All right. Overly dry hair, split ends, hair breakage, hair loss, and dandruff, and grease.
Gross. Now, I will say, a few years ago, I was noticing, I remember distinctly going, oh my gosh, am I getting thin here? And I was like, oh, I don't know. No, I have a lot of hair. And you would think I would be like you with the amount of hair that is in our bathtub every day.
Yeah, speaking of.
But about 6 months in to my alcohol-free journey, I started to notice all kinds of baby hair. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I really started to do more research in this. And I was just shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
Did not happen for me. Now, I will say too, though, my brother drinks significantly less than I have historically. And while he doesn't have a luscious full head of hair, he definitely is doing better than I am in the follicle world. So I definitely...
can I just say, though, once again, kudos to our generation for embracing.
Just let it go,
If you
kids.
don't have the hair, let it go.
Yes.
Shave it off.
Yes.
You look so much better. I was looking around at church yesterday. I'm like going, yes, thank you.
Let it go.
Thank you.
The comb
Let it
over
go.
and the mullet don't ever have to come back. Although I think the mullet came back.
My mullet is back, babe.
All right, Amy. Well, I found another sound effect too.
Amy, what you gonna do? Like that song, don't you?
All right, Amy. What are your tactic of the week? Is 5 ways to be happier and increase my happiness. Make me happy, Amy.
Yes.
5 ways.
This is from Brendan Burchard. He is a very well-known motivational speaker.
Does he
coach.
live in a van down by the river?
Absolutely not. No. And I have his app, the Growth Day app. So every day I get a motivational wake up.
And if you're married too, you'll understand that sometimes I get the motivational wake up too. You need to listen to this.
No, it's awesome. I don't say it like that at all. You know I don't.
Okay, please continue.
All right. So the 5 ways, and we'll put this into the notes as well, is number 1, increase presence in the moment more often through your day. Being more connected in everyday moments will make you feel more alive and not just this bludgeoning through our day, going through, all right, well, I'm going to do this. But being in the moment, being present is so important. So in one of the things he says is you're going to sync up in the now. You need to be in it. Be present. Be present in your...
Is that kind of like when I say we're on vacation and I'll stop? I always call it, I stop and make a memory.
You do. That's absolutely it. That is being mindful, being in it.
I got number 1. I don't know if I use my 5 senses to perk up my feelings.
It's, being conscious, having consciousness in the space
Basically, don't
and time that you're
run
in.
through your day, just...
Absolutely. Yes. And also one of the tips was set a reminder during the day, a couple different times during the day to say, be present.
Oh.
And just pick that up. So number 2, increase your sense of appreciation and gratitude. Write down, if you can, each day what you're grateful for, 1 or 2 things. Or do that a few times during the week.
Does it count if I just think about it, or do I have to write it down?
You really should write it down. Actually, research says that if you write it down, it actually helps with your neuroplasticity.
Does typing count?
I cannot believe I just got that word out.
Wow. She must have her word day toilet paper going on.
So it helps, just make all those connections go through. So if you can journal about that, yes, you can do journaling on your computer.
You are a big journaler.
So that also the research shows that people who are more grateful and journal about it are happier. Number 3, increase the momentum in the things that matter to you.
What's that mean?
So
like move faster?
Do something that motivates, like for you. An example would be you love flying drones. So you want to get better at it. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make you better at that?
You know what they say, you need to have a 5-pack a day habit. 5 battery packs a day. That's really what they say, 5-pack a day.
So that increases. Like for me, I just really get filled up on coaching.
Is this the one that you said Yoda, do or do not? There is no try?
There's two. Yes. Yes. So get into it. Get into your, create momentum on the things that you got. Doing things that bring fulfillment to you, fill you up. I love reading. So I try to read. I probably have 3 or 4 books going at all times. It's annoying because then I can't remember what came out of each book or what came from here. But just in that constant...
It's like mixing Downton Abbey with Walking Dead. Why are there zombies in Downton Abbey?
That would be interesting though, wouldn't it? So that is number 3. Number 4, deepen your sense of connection in your relationships. And, are you being encouraging? Are you active listening to people? What? Are you being empathetic?
Clearly, I'm not active listening because I think like 3 times a day you're like, were you listening? No, I wasn't listening at all.
Well, we all know when you weren't, and I'll tell you when you weren't. Yeah, we're just going to deviate here. What you decided to scold me and tell me this morning that I was being just like my children as you proceeded.
Not cleaning up the kitchen.
Not cleaning up the kitchen, and you proceeded to start to pour. Well, you did.
No, I put a bunch of water in your smoothie blender that still had a bunch of smoothie in it.
Yeah, I was literally getting up to go and finish.
Made it less smooth.
Or too smooth.
Too smooth.
But anyway, so we digress.
So listen.
But basically, deepening that sense of connection and not to look at relationships as tasks. So, okay, I've got to do this. I've got to contact them. Now, with that said, reaching out to people, I actually do schedule out during the week. Okay, I want to reach out to these different people during the week just to connect and say, hello, how are you doing? It's definitely your mindset. Checking in on people, calling them.
There's like some programmers, they say like text somebody every day just to see how they're doing. Pick somebody every day and text them.
Yep. And so I try to do that with 3 or 4 people during the week just to connect. Sometimes they're different people. Sometimes they're the same people. I will also say, if somebody pops up in your mind and you're like, oh, wow, I haven't thought about them. Chances are you're scrolling or doing something. If you are, go ahead and take that moment and actually reach out to them and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you?
And I personally hate the game of, well, the phone works 2 ways.
I hate that too.
I know.
Because guess what? You know what?
You don't know what they're going through. Maybe they don't have time.
Exactly. Maybe something's going on the other end. And I've been trying to that's been a mindset change for me as well. It's been like, okay, well, that person hasn't reached out to me and that. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, maybe it's just that maybe they want to, but they're just like everybody else. They're busy. And sometimes when I reach out to people, I've had awesome reactions. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just reached out to me. I'm so happy that you did. I'm really having a hard time. So just do that.
Number 5.
Health and exercise.
I'm out. Gotta go. See you later. Good podcast.
Our energy is tied to our health. And we are going to correct that typo, Matt. I did it on my other thing, but if I'm going to post these.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, another deviation. Tide. And he goes, how do you spell tide? I'm like, well, tide like the soap and the water, T-I-D-E. And like something is tied together. And all of a sudden my brain goes, I don't remember.
I know. It's
tide.
So weird how that happens. But anyways.
T-I-E-D if you're curious.
It is. Our energy is tied to our health. So energy is connected to all these other areas that I have just mentioned above. What we have to do is you have to remember you need to take care of your body and you need to get the stress out of your body. And to get stress out of your body, you need to move it. So it could be
move it.
It could be, going for a daily walk, going for a bike ride, doing some yoga, I know I'm actually kind of getting into the yoga at least once a week. And that's not happening every week, but I'm trying to be much more mindful with that. But I even put
you
there.
need to sit quietly in the dark. Yeah, I'm not good at that.
You don't have to do that. That's not true. That's not true. So the other thing you can do is I'm going to do a couple of things. I love kickboxing. There's a guy online, Meth Laughing, one of my favorite workout guys. His name is Rick Bueller.
I don't know.
I think it's Bueller. But even though that sounds weird, like Ferris Bueller, but Get Fit with Rick.
Is it really spelled GITFIT? Or is that a typo?
What?
You get GIT. Or is it...
I think that's another typo.
Okay. So it's Get Fit with Rick.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's great. He's got lots of different music.
He's got good music.
He's got great music. 90s guilty pleasure, walking.
He's riding right into your demographic.
He's got
for
the
sure.
K-pop going on.
Will Smith once in a while.
Bruno Mars, my favorite.
Like a bunch of
some
middle-aged
Britney
women
Spears.
getting down to Britney Spears and getting jiggy with it.
But you know what? And here's the thing: have fun with it. Have fun with it.
You do. You'll be out here. I hear you. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So, and then also evaluate when you're going to do your journaling practice. Put those 5 areas down and just journal about each area and what you can do to be more mindful and present in all those areas, and then make a plan around it. So I'm going to just do a quick recap. 5 ways to increase your happiness: increase your presence in the moment, increase your sense of appreciation and gratitude, increase the momentum in things that matter most to you, deepen your sense of connection in your relationships, and then finally,
Get Fit with Rick.
Health and exercise. So, yeah.
Well, excellent, Amy. Thank you for those 5 fantastic tips.
And guess what? I got you out on a walk this morning.
You did. Lucky me. All right, children. Well, next week, I think Amy wants to talk about some brain health, it looks like.
Yes.
And if you would like some help from Coach Amy, beyond 5 tips, you can reach her at joyontheotherside.com. If you want to feedback to us, that's feedback@afmpodcast.com. Unlike how I opened the podcast, which was the marriage-free podcast, that's not right.
And one of your outtakes.
Yes, and one of our many, many outtakes. Anyway, I think
And I just say, if you know somebody who might enjoy this podcast, you know what?
Share it.
Share it.
Please. Multiple
Share
times.
it. We would appreciate it.
Sharing's caring, I think, is what they
Share
say.
your stories. Just share it.
Yes. All right, kids. Well, I think that's it for us from the cornfields. I am Matt, along with Coach Amy. I had to pause.
He almost went back old school.
Wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. And we are out.